Moin, ihr wunderbare Menschen des Interwebs. Ich begrüße euch ganz herzlich zurück zu meinem Let's Play von The Ace-Attorney Chronicles. Wir sind hier stehen geblieben und wollten uns einmal den Tatort angucken, um zu sehen, was wir hier alles herausfinden können. So, this is where it happened. Briar Road. Ah, look, Mr. Naruhodo. Look at that regulation metal helmet. It's unmistakable. The men of Scotland Yard are here. They're investigating as we speak. That is their job, you know. That is their job, you know. But Mr. Naruhodo, to see one with my own eyes. They are often depicted in the adventure of Sherlock Holmes, but I never dreamt I would ever come to this close. To a real Bobby's helmet. What? The helmet? Of course. I have to try one on one day. Well, I hope your heady dream comes true. Okay, interesting. I don't see Inspector Gregson anywhere. Shall we see if we can sneak past and investigate the scene of the stabbing? Why should we sneak? I don't want to upset one of those bobbies and be butted on the head by one of those metal helmets. My skull would crack in two, I'm sure. Oh no, an English bobby would never do such a thing. This is a land of gentlemen, you know. Okay, dann, ja, wir können ja mal gucken, ob wir uns hier schon umsehen dürfen. Also wir dürfen auf jeden Fall die Straßenseite wechseln. Okay. Gucken, ob wir hier mit einem von ihnen reden dürfen. That's one of the officers from Scotland Yard. The police are making sure the crime scene is undisturbed. I have a feeling that if we wander too close, we will be clapped on irons. I think perhaps you're being a little overcautious. We've done nothing wrong, so we have no cause for concern. Oh no, I'm not getting caught out again. Twice is enough. Twice I found myself in handcuffs, despite not knowing a thing about what was going on. Yes, you've had some dreadful experiences. I'm sure it's that wide-eyed look of panic you're so prone to. It does you no favors at all. What a delightful snowman. I didn't realize the English had a tradition of making snowmen as well. It looks a little creepy though. Oh, it has a scarf, look. You would need one if you were out in this freezing cold all the time. I wish I had one. I'm afraid our budget is somewhat frozen at the moment too. We certainly can't afford a scarf. Surely the snowman here wouldn't miss his. But the person who made the snowman certainly would. Yes, I know, you're right. Anyway, even if I borrowed it, it wouldn't do much to warm my neck, would it? It's covered in snow. Oh, that's a Scotland Yard carriage. They use vehicles like that to rush to crime scenes and cart away criminals. You're very well informed, aren't you? It's long been a dream of mine to ride one of those through the streets of London. Well, just pick up a stone and throw it through one of the windows then. But that would mean being arrested in order to ride it, wouldn't it? Still, if it's the only way, help me find a good stone. No, I wasn't serious. Okay, wir gucken, ob wir uns dann auf der anderen Seite noch irgendwas angucken können. That's a rather typical old brick building, isn't it? I'm sure it has a long and interesting history. Well, time certainly seems to have taken its toll on the place. It's cracked and sagging all over. In fact, it looks in decidedly worse shape than the other houses around here. We must find some cheap lodgings ourselves as soon as possible. Yes, you're right, cheap, but ideally with reasonable level floors. Oh, look at the windows of that building there. Are you sure they are windows? Yes, but they are all filled in with bricks. Oh, you're right. I wonder why. Perhaps it's an empty property where nobody lives at the moment? There's smoke coming from the chimneys, though. Oh dear, everything still feels very foreign. There's so much we have to learn about this place. A British bicycle, look! Also, the wheel is so misshapen, I'm sure it couldn't possibly be ridden anymore. Someone must have been doing some breakneck cycling. It seems bicycles have become extremely popular in London recently. There's even a movement to change women's dress to allow them to ride as well. The bicycle fad won't last. I don't see why anyone would want to ride something like that. Goodness, do you dislike bicycles? No, not at all. I mean, it's not that I dislike them exactly. It's just that any occupation that involves taking both your feet off firm ground seems reckless. If you would ever tried walking on stilts and fallen into a river, I know you would agree with me. You will have to hire a bicycle sometime. You can sit behind me while I ride you around. Gut, aber mehr können wir dann... Ah ja, hier können wir noch einmal hinklicken. The clouds look so big and heavy in the sky, don't they? And with the dense fog as well, everything looks hazy. Well, it is known as Foggy London Town. I can't just make out some sort of spire through the fog. It looks like it's still being built, though. Ah, yes, that must be the Crystal Tower being built for the great Mein Gott, ich hatte das letzte Mal geschafft, das Wort auszusprechen, und jetzt kriege ich es gerade nicht mehr hin. Exhibition, that's to open in 6 months' time. Exhibition. Apparently, it's going to be very striking, glazed on all sides, and the symbolic centerpiece of the exhibition. It's to be the largest exposition in history, is it? I can't even begin to imagine it. Okay, gut. Ich würde sagen, wir gucken uns dann einmal, oder wir gehen einmal in das Gefängnis. Da ich nicht glaube, dass wir uns den Tatort schon ansehen dürfen, dann würde ich einmal sagen, reden wir mit dem Angeklagten. Oh, das sieht sehr einladend aus. So, these are British prison cells. Oh, they are ghastly. It feels just like a dungeon. Yes, and having experienced it in Japan myself, I can assure you that our wooden cells feel a lot cozier than these cold stone walls. Oh, don't, Mr. Naruhodo. You're making it seem worse. Apparently, our client is in this cell here. But it's so dark at the back there, I can't make him out. I wonder what he's like. Inmate 53, your legal representative is here to see you. Stop hiding at the back of the cell and show your face at once. Am I a cat as yet with no name? Calling me by a number, it's utterly unbelievable, unjustly unreasonable. I refuse to answer. Mr. Naruhodo, what do you think is going on here? I have no idea, but I wasn't just hearing things, was I? That tirade of complaints was in Japanese. Excuse me, but who... Wait. They are all around, hiding. I know they are. They are watching, listening. Even now, I can sense it. Right. So, could I ask you who exactly... There you are. You've come to curse me, haven't you? Don't try to hide it, you're a ghost. A ghost? You mean you're no harm prisoner, son? Are you Japanese, by any chance? This is beyond my wildest dreams. Forgive me for that outburst before, I'm so sorry. Oh, it's fine. We were just a little surprised, that's all. Imagine it! It's been 12 long months since I left my hometown, and here I am, in a frightful fix in a foreign land. So hearing the sweet, sentimental tones of a comrade's voice here in this damn dark hellhole was a most monumentally moving moment. Who could have guessed that this new client Lord Strongherd assigned to us would turn out to be a fellow Japanese? What compassion my fellow countrymen show to dispatch a first-class lawyer all the way from Japan to defend a mere foreign student. Noble, nurturing, never-failing Nippon. A first-class lawyer? Oh dear, I think there's been something of a misunderstanding here. I wonder, would you be so kind as to tell us what's happened? Why you've been detained as a suspect, for example? Yes, I can, I will. Chan says, silent. I'm not quite sure I understand what he means, but seems happy. Yes, he does. I just hope he actually has a good reason to be. Thank you for your cooperation. I'm a lawyer, as you said. My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. And I am Naruhodo-san's judicial assistant, Susato Mikotoba. I am a visiting student sent here by our government. Notoriously named Natsume. Soseki Natsume. Soseki, ich hab Soseki gelesen. Soseki Natsume-san. What an unusual name. Call me Soseki, please. I'm a poet, you see, a writer of haiku. It's something of a nom de plume. You mean an alias? Alias? That's right, Naruhodo-san. No, don't be so prosaic. It's much more refined than that. And haiku, that really reminds me of home. Did I hear you say that you were a visiting student sent over here by the government? Yes, that's right. A year ago I was told to go and study English. First I had to suffer that misery, and now this. It's beyond the pale. Suffer that misery? Did you not want to study here? No, I mean I've had an interest in Great Britain for some years, of course. But just because the government tells you to do something doesn't mean you can't do it? No. What do you mean? If they would have told me to study English literature? That I could have understood, that's my field. But no, they told me to study the English language. Utterly unbelievable, unjustly unreasonable. I see. Only the other day I was told to send a report about my first year here. I turned it a blank piece of paper. Wise words on white washi. You must be a man of great standing. Oh yes, so I'm often told. And often like to be told, it seems. Could you perhaps tell us exactly why you've been arrested, Soseki-san? I didn't do it. I didn't commit that atrocious murder. Murder? Oh, no, it's alright. The woman didn't actually die, did she? But she was stabbed with a knife right before my eyes. Before your eyes? You mean you saw the attacker? I didn't see anyone. What? If I would seen the person who did it, do you think I would be locked up in here? Oh dear, it seems this case is becoming rather complicated. Why me? Why me? Why did that silly woman have to be stabbed in front of me? It's the curse of London. It's incredibly, inexcusably, irritatingly inconvenient. So, Soseki-san was there at the scene, but he didn't see the attacker. It's vital that we find out more about the case. It was an accursed evening, just after the snow had started to clear and heavy with fog. I'd been to the bookshop to buy some books, and I was on my way back to my accursed lodgings. Sure, the bookshop wasn't accursed too. As I was walking along that accursed pavement, I could make out the the sole silhouette of another ahead of me. A woman wearing a green overcoat she was, and just as I went to overtake her, she suddenly let out a little scream and collapsed onto the cold hard slabs of stone at my feet. How terrible. I called out to the woman, but she didn't move. It was like a ghostly, ghoulish, grim graveyard. Slightly exaggeration there, perhaps? I was terrified. I had to get away from there, so I ran as fast as my legs would carry me back to my accursed lodgings. That's not good. They will say it was shameful, I know, to run away like that. Tell me, Soseki-san, was the victim an acquaintance of yours? Don't be ridiculous. Do you think I know any of these fair-haired English? And a young woman at that? I'm diffident, shy, timid, unsure. I can't talk to people. I see. A young woman unknown to Soseki-san. And at the time it happened, who else did you see nearby? Did anybody pass you? Regrettably, apart from myself and the woman, I didn't see a soul. No one? Oh, great. So the victim was unknown to you, and there was nobody else on the street at the time. That creates something of a conundrum, doesn't it? What conundrum? What do you mean, Susato-san? What's the conundrum? Well, if what Soseki-san has just told us is true, there's something I can't explain. He says that he didn't know the victim and that there was no one else at the scene. Then he apparently fled without having been seen. I did. But if that's the case, surely this man has to be the culprit. You... What did you just say? Nothing, I didn't say anything. Oops, perhaps I thought that a little loudly. Actually, that's not that was troubling me. What I was thinking was, how did Soseki-san actually come to be arrested? Sorry? He didn't touch the victim, and there was nobody at the scene to see him. So how did the police ever discover that he was there in the first place? Oh yes, she's right. It was him. That accursed great detective. He led the police to me. Of all the bad luck. Accursed great detective? Could it be... I shall never forget that man's name as long as I live. With his haughty laugh and his self-proclaimed greatness. Brash, big-headed, busybody. May you be cursed until the end of your days, Herlock Sholmes. I knew it. Mr. Sholmes? Herlock. Der Herlock. Oh Mann, ey. Well, I didn't expect to hear the name from this man's lips, that's for sure. It was the morning after the nightmare had unfolded on the pavement before me. I was gnawing on a silver of 4 cheese when some man suddenly burst in through the door. They started shouting at me, "This is the police, put the weapon down." Yes, it was a thin shiver, and yes, it was hard, but I wasn't eating a weapon. Disgusting. Dietary discrimination devils. You clearly had a trying morning yesterday. And there he was, in the middle of all the policemen, grinning like a Cheshire cat. That Herlock Sholmes. It's actually just Herlock Sholmes. He's English. I have since found out that he's a famous name in detection here in London. Yes, the great detective is really very well known. And his overly sharp mind managed to deduce my whereabouts apparently. He thinks I'm the knife-wielding madman, me, this weak, stooped kitten of a man. I wonder what great deduction process led him to his conclusion this time. Do you mean to say that Mr. Sholmes' deduction was the only reason the police arrested you? That would be really most unreasonable. Well, the thing is, I was thrown into a panic when they barged their way in.
Of course you were. That's only natural.
I was terrified and trembling, and they kept throwing questions after question at me in impossible English. Fiendish, foreign, flamery. Well, we are in England. You can't really blame them for questioning you in English. Good point. But my mind went blank. I knew I had to answer, but I didn't know what to say. So I just kept repeating things like this, like, yes I do, and I'm fine. The next thing I knew, I was in manacles, and before I knew it, I was thrown in here.
Oh dear, I'm afraid that's hardly surprising.
I'm fine? He's not fine now. Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. You can just call me Naruhodo, and when we are speaking English, a simple Mr. is more than enough. Oh, yes, alright, yes. They have really got to me. This country is poisoning my mind. But please, I beg you to defend me in court tomorrow. You can tell them what really happened. You will do it, won't you? Well, why? Why is it so hard to say yes to me?
Well, the thing is, I'm just a student like yourself, on a study tour.
A student?
I have defended a case in the Old Bailey, only the one though. But at this moment in time, I really don't know what I'm supposed to believe in. I am confused about what justice in this country even means.
Naruhodo-san, I'm not even the foreign student who was supposed to be here. I'm a sort of locum lawyer, I suppose. But that armband, that's the mark of a defense lawyer from our great empire.
It's a keepsake from the man who should have been here. He was my best friend.
A keepsake? I know exactly what they're saying about me.
Oh, who do you mean?
The lawyers, all the British defense lawyers, they won't defend me.
Goodness, why? Why do you say that?
For the same reason as you noted before. When it happened, there was only the victim and myself around, and I ran away from the scene of the crime. I'm not a fool. I know it looks as though I must be the culprit.
It must be very hard for you, Soseki-san.
And anyway, I'm a student from overseas. I'm just a foreign nobody to them, someone not to be trusted. I heard them openly laughing about me before, in my earshot, without any compunction at all. Any trial for this man would be a waste of time, they said, and of course the foreign did it. They even had the gall to say the man doesn't understand half what's being said anyway. That's awful. They are wrong. I've studied more English than half of the policemen out there on the streets. I've traveled halfway around the world to learn about these people's country and its great history. But no one here wants to listen to a man with a strange accent. They all hate me. So, at the very least, I would like to entrust my fate to someone who can listen to me in my native tongue. You could do it, couldn't you? When I look into your eyes, I can see it. I can see what you've been through.
Soseki-san, it's just that...
Give me a little time, please.
I will do what I can for the time being.
What do you mean?
We shall investigate the case as thoroughly as possible. If we can find some clues, it will give us a much better chance, I'm sure.
Oh, yes, thank you. I will be here, all alone, waiting for you. Locum student, Mr. Naruhodo.
We should be going then, Naruhodo-san. We have a case to prepare for.
Okay, dann würde ich sagen, geht es wieder zurück zu dem Tatort und ich hoffe mal, dass sich dort dann etwas geändert hat und wir uns den einmal genau unter die Lupe nehmen können. Auf jeden Fall unser Mandant hier ein sehr interessanter Mensch mit seinen ganzen Kommentaren und Bemerkungen und ja, teilweise dabei rumgehampelt. Auf jeden Fall ein sehr interessanter Zeitgenosse. Ja, ich bin mal gespannt, was wir im nächsten Part herausfinden können. Ich bin auch gespannt, ob wir dann Herlock auch wiedersehen. Müssen wir ja eigentlich. Also wir müssen ihn auf jeden Fall in diesem Fall wiedersehen. Ob das dann im nächsten Part schon ist, keine Ahnung.
Ich bin auf jeden Fall gespannt. Hier gibt es jetzt aber erstmal einen Cut. Ich bedanke mich wie immer ganz herzlich fürs Zusehen. Hoffe, ihr hattet Spaß. Und wenn ihr mögt, sehen wir uns sehr, sehr gerne im nächsten Part wieder. Bis dahin, ciao!